Welcome to NP&J.
We're going to talk about video games.
And sandwiches.
Hello! Welcome back to NP&J. We're going to fight some things to get to Mulan. I really did love Mulan. And I actually, during that, that period of time, Disney was coming out with some fantastic movies. You know, because they had Little Mermaid, then Aladdin, and then Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King. Pocahontas, a lot of people didn't like it. I loved Pocahontas. I really did. And then Mulan. And I mean, it was the best for me. Like the music, the songs, characters, everything. Even Hunchback of Notre Dame, which it wasn't really like... How they executed the story wasn't really G. It was more of a PG, almost PG-13. And my sister and I just thought it was weird because Demi Moore did Esmeralda, the voice for Esmeralda. At the same time, she was in what was the name of that movie? Now I can't remember the name of the movie. But she played a stripper who was trying to infiltrate something to stop an assassination attempt on the president or something. I don't know what this storyline was. I watched the edited and ready for TV version of it.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty funny. But like there was a scene I think in Hunchback of Notre Dame that very reminiscent of what that real life movie was. It was a striptease, maybe it was striptease. I don't know. And so my sister and I were like, yeah, Demi Moore, what are you doing? Because at the time, she was a really good actress. She didn't, because some actresses, when they start to not become relevant or whatever, they sometimes do a movie where they're naked to maybe give them some relevance, which is like...
It's terrible. But they do it to two guys as well on a different level. It's like, you got to have... the jacked, ripped guy with the shirt off all the time.
I know, and I think that's like, Thor. Mm-hmm. Really, I am terrible with names. Hemsworth? I should stop being, Liam? No, not Liam.
Chris,
yes. Oh my gosh, wrong Hemsworth. But anyway, I think it's in his
contract.
I'm not as popular
as my brother.
Right? It is in his contract, I think, that in every movie he's in, at least with Marvel, he has to have a shirt, and he's self-conscious about it too, it's like, and that makes sense because that's a lot of work, like to be that buff. I mean, and it taxes your body.
Oh sure.
Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger now, like because of he's got. I don't know. His body just looks weird to me.
Yeah, when you see him in The Expendables, or just in regular life, the most recent movie, he looks a little bit more old and saggy because he hasn't maintained the muscles that you're supposed to, and so they just kind of flattened out a little bit.
Yeah, well, they atrophy with age.
Yeah.
And that, but it is really, really hard, and it's a double standard thing. Like we women roll their eyes when a woman is, has very scantily clad or whatever in movies, or shot from behind, up skirt or butt angles all the time in movies when it's a male behind the camera or whatever. But at the same time, guys can be shot that same way, but we don't roll our eyes about it because, and that's the thing that frustrates me, is that we want to fight for equal rights, but a lot of people who do the things or say the things, whatever, are always tearing down the person they want to be equal with. Like women are trying to tear down men so they can be equal with them. It's like, don't tear down. Rise up. They can have this. They can be seen with the same amount of respect, the same amount of this, same amount of that. You don't have to like destroy somebody. This is not the.
You don't have to tear them down to bring yourself up.
Yeah, well, and that's what I don't like about songs or mentality of fat girls versus skinny girls, like oh yeah, men don't like twigs. Like, no, I know a lot of men who like really, really skinny girls, and then I know a lot of men who like heavier girls. It does vary. But you don't have to be like, skinny girls stink in order to be proud of fat girls. Be like, we all are beautiful in our own unique ways.
I'm not sure. I haven't even joined the army yet.
Yes, just like Mulan, who gets away with being a guy.
I just hope I don't get discovered.
Whatever, you just scared, admit it.
She's still a hot guy. I mean, you had the captain who's like, ooh, I shouldn't like Ping, but I kind of do.
Let's get the jump on him.
Gorge, maybe we better look before we leap.
Thanks,
Wow.
Goofy.
Yeah, Goofy.
Wisdom beyond ages. Wisdom of the ages. Wisdom. He's very wise for a dog. I'd be scared of a giant duck wearing clothing charging at me. Not so much the kid.
I'm Little Lethal and Legendary.
Hey, Mushu, we missed you.
When did they meet Mushu?
He was a summon in the last game.
Oh, yeah. Nope. We didn't do that.
Do you know them?
Know them? Man, we used to kick all kinds of bad guy butt together. Yeah, you know I help these guys out of a lot of tight spots. Because I'm a mighty dragon, right?
Mighty Dragon.
Something like
I've noticed this. I mentioned this to
You are?
Jessica the other day.
I'm Mulan.
That
No, I mean,
movies,
Ping.
some movies at least, have been making dragons
Just
furry
Ping.
or
I am
feathery.
Ping, son of Fazu.
You know
And
Mushu?
they're
Mushu's one of my
reptiles.
family's guardians.
They're supposed to be scaly. So when you make a dragon that's furry, it's no longer a dragon. I'm sorry. It's just like vampires. When you make a vampire sparkly, it's no longer a vampire
Nope.
and can survive in the sun.
Sounds fair.
That's kind of like their main thing, besides sucking blood, is that they can't survive in the sun. So you gotta stop saying that one thing is
If you
something
join
just
us,
because it's
it'll
different.
be easier
It's
to
not.
fit
It's
in if
different.
I'm with guys like you.
What do you mean fit in?
I don't know if people watching this are listening to us or trying to read the story. I know that's a problem that I have, is whenever I'm watching people play a game and the story and the
You didn't
words, you know,
notice?
there's voice acting and all this stuff coming up, and they're talking,
I think
and I'm
it's
trying to pay
working.
attention to the story, and I would just ask, you know, wow, why don't you guys just shut up for a second and pay attention?
Here.
And sometimes that works, because later they would go be like, wait, what happened? We missed it, because they weren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you out there, I apologize.
Haha.
We used to do it. We used to be quiet. But these last few episodes, we've been talking a lot during the stuff, so. Ping will be joining your
Yay!
party and Combi switch out for some time. Cool.
Yay! Let's. I get. Would she replace Goofy?
For the moment, let's see what she can do. So we got no spots open.
Wait, didn't
She
we?
can do nothing.
Wait, go back to Sora. We have the magic lock on. Oh yeah, we'd have to drop 3.
Yeah.
So okay, never mind.
So we want to have work, whip, and cure. Hey. What's going on? Why can't I?
Wait.
If there's not enough MP to use this magic spell, wait a while and MP will begin to regenerate until full. Why can't I select this? Because it says triangle, and I'm pressing triangle.
Wait. Use from magic command. MP cost all.
Does it not have a?
Is
I
it?
guess
Is
I
it
can't.
equipped to the whole party? Kind
No,
of.
it cures the whole party, I think. Okay, so I can access it. I guess I just can't customize its attributes.
Okay. Hey, we can buy stuff, but do we have enough money?
We might have a little bit. We have a little bit.
246.
I've already got one of those.
It's elemental stuff.
Okay, all of that's good.
Wow,
We are
we are 4
4
money
money
short.
Yeah, we still got potions, so yeah, we're okay for the moment on items.
Okay, so once we get 4 money, we gotta come back.
Yeah. High potion. Sweet, sweet, sweet. What's this over here? Saw Mushu's shadow on this rock. See, that's a good example of what not to do. Because we just saw a scene with that exact same thing happening. This isn't building the world. It's taking us out of it.
I'm gonna tell you what you saw. Hey Nikki, did you know that there's a bush there and we walked by it? Did you know that the ground is what we walk on when we first met Mulan?
Did you know that this is your childhood home? This is the car you drove to get here.
This is the tree that was alive.
It's a half-gallon of milk that you bought at the store, and you used to eat cereal and make chocolate milk with Hershey syrup. It's like, come on. We just saw. We're not. Ugh.
Oh, that was the thing about the Mulan movie. Like, one, she wouldn't be that stupid and act that dumb because she's been around men. And two, how did no one else see the dragon that's hanging out her neck?
Yeah. Actual punch. Gotta love it. And Donald would do that. See, that's good character stuff. This is good character stuff. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Space in line.
Wonder what they're serving for lunch today.
And one of the things I love most about this movie are the two songs. The two man songs.
I like Reflection.
No, that's a good one too.
I really related to that moment.
But just because they're more, I'm more of an upbeat as opposed to a ballad. So find a woman worth fighting for, and be a man. They're so upbeat and fun to sing along with.
You punched me.
Oh yeah.
Definitely got to be some of my favorite Disney songs overall.
Let's just get back in line, okay?
Whose side do you want? I just got slugged.
Want some more?
Soldiers, get back in line.
I do love when he was first introduced, her expression. Or, well, no, it was when he took off his shirt and she was like, ooh. It was just like that little moment, like, humanized her and grounded, a little more in reality. This fantasy, of his dragons and whatnot.
Oh, yeah? Ping, I hope you're ready.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
You want to know what's interesting? And this is more of a orbs influence survival part. Make sure to gather. Okay. And I know that this is China, ancient China we're talking about, not Japan. But I was recently watching this thing about knights and samurai. And people usually, the modern stereotype is that the samurai were actually very honorable, when in fact they were not. They're very they're kind of dirtbags, really.
Well, their definition of honor, I think, differs than, we're raising morale. Get as many as we can so we can raise morale.
I'm trying.
It's dropping. It's dropping. Get all the morale we need. But they, what was the thing about samurai? Like, they would behead their enemy. Well, it wasn't like they would behead all of them. But when they won a battle, they'd make sure they'd behead like the captain or the leader of the opposing army or whatnot, because they got notoriety and that, and they would carry around like the heads and all that.
Well, they were also more mercenaries, because they would bounce from noble to noble, depending upon the money that they got from it or if it was worth sticking around. So it isn't, and I do still think samurai are cool. It's just it's a common misconception that people have.
Yeah.
Recently learned about that, so I was like, oh.
But we're taught so many wrong things in history, honestly.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we're, like Columbus found America. It's like no people were coming to America. I mean, everyone knew the world was round at that point. It's just. Well, and what I love is I was watching a History Channel many years ago, and they in mummies in ancient Egypt, they found traces of cocaine, which was only found in Central America. So 5,000 years ago, how are these people getting stuff that you can only find on the other side of the planet?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's the same. It's the same with horses. They're like, horses only existed in Europe. It's like, yeah, but we found horse bones in America before they came across that date back to them. So it's like, yeah, there are things that. Well, it's also the people in charge. They don't want us to learn certain things. Like, you go from state to state, and you're taught different stuff in middle school, elementary, and high school. Which is kind of unfair if you think about it, because it's like, well, you should be learning the same thing. You should be learning the same world history, you should be learning the same American history, and you should be learning the same state history. Not learning different parts of the American history and different versions of the American history, as opposed to just cutting out half of the world history.
Yeah, and they always teach the European world history. They never teach any Asian, African, South American, anything like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was every year. You do world history, Europe, every year growing up. And it's like when I was a senior, and then I was hoping to finally get into a classroom where they would teach about China, because China's got fascinating history that I would love to learn more about, especially, and I love the Mongols and that. I would love to write a series and maybe air it on the History Channel and whatnot, but be more historically accurate in the depiction of the Mongol invasion, Genghis Khan, and that, because he did. I mean, God, I know I've talked about this in previous episodes, but it really does impress me what he was able to achieve. It was so disappointing, the savagery, but his generals were so smart. They were always outnumbered when they were battling the Europeans, but because they were the best strategists, like they said, that's why Napoleon did as much as he was able to do. It wasn't because of him, it was because he had employed very intelligent people who had excellent strategy and that. And I think there are aspects to even Hitler, because I think he aligned himself with Mussolini. That was actually a good thing for the rest of the world, because Mussolini was a freaking idiot.
Oh, yeah.
And if Hitler wasn't saving his butt all the time in Africa and this and that, then they would have attacked USSR sooner, instead of at the wintertime, where in Russia they know their strength. They fall back and let the enemy freeze and starve to death.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And that's a brilliant strategy. It hasn't been, proven wrong. But we need to go to the next episode. Sorry, I love history. I love learning and talking about
history
things.
is so much fun.
And really, and this is just what I encourage you. You're going to learn in school, but you are going to learn a very, very tiny percentage of history. And you're certainly not going to learn a really broad scope of world history. Try, because you will be amazed and fascinated by what you discover about other countries and other people and that. So don't limit yourself to what they teach you in school. Find some good books in the biography
or just
section
what you
of
hear from the internet or Facebook.
Yeah, because not all internet stuff. Not all internet stuff is very well researched. I mean, some of it is. It kind of, if it's like a .org or .edu or .gov, it's probably a little more legitimate than a .com. But no, you go to a bookstore, you find the biography, history sections, pick up a book or two there, and it might be a little more dry in the reading, but you really, really can learn more stuff, and it just, I don't know. It's just something that's fun to know, just to know.
Yeah. Or you could check out our sponsor for this episode, Audible. We don't have a sponsor.
No, we don't. Anyway, have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
Stay happy and healthy.
Snip.
snip.
Transition noises.
Ta-da!
Oh no, it's gonna rain.